Hello, my name is Raj Kumar. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Application. Today we are going to discuss about the network reference model. First of all, we are going to discuss about the why we need a network reference model. In the past couple of decades, many networks that are built use the different hardware and the software implementation. As a result, they were the incorporated. In the past years, many types of the networks are going to be built. They are having the different hardware and the software, mainly implementation. And also because it's difficult for the networks using the different specification for the communication with each other. Each network having the different specification, then it's a very difficult to communicate each network to each other. For that, in order to address this type of the problem, incompatibility of the networks and this inability to communicate with each other. Find the problem is come that they are very difficult to communicate with each other because they are having the different network specification, different software specifications. Then the solution then provided the International Organization of Standard research various network schemes. After that, they recognize their need to create a network model will help the vendor to create incorporatable implementation of the mainly. Then the ISO, which is the International Organization and Standards, create a one common method for all the networks to communicate to each other. OSI model. Then we are going to shift to the OSI model. OSI model is an open system interconnection model. Is a conceptual model created by the International Organization of the Standard. Fine. Then the OSI model comes in the existence, which is created by the organization, International Organization for Standard, which enables to develop the communication system to communicate using the standards protocol. Means OSI model enables the different networks to communicate to each other. It enables us to communicate the different network to communicate with each other. In plain English, if we talk about OSI provide the standards of the different computer system to able to communicate with each other. Means OSI provides the one standard. With the help of that standard, each network can communicate to each other. The OSI model can be seen as a universal language for the computer networking. Is based on the concept of the splitting of the communication system into the 7 abstract layers, each one stuck upon the last. Means OSI model mainly divided into the 7 layers. Here, each layer having their different specification. We are going to discuss about each layer one by one in the detail. These are the 7 layers in which the OSI model is divided. First layer is a physical layer. Then next layer is a data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, penetration layer, and your application layer. First, we start with the application layer, and the last layer is a application layer. These layers are defined the whole network, how our whole network is going to be work. Talk about the first layer, which is our penetration layer. Physical layer, sorry. Our first layer is a physical layer. Physical layer in the OSI model plays a role of interacting the actual hardware and the signaling mechanism. Physical layer work on your mainly hardware and your signaling mechanism. Means it deals with the directly hardware of your network. Physical layer is the only layer of the OSI network which actually deals with the physical connectivity of 2 different stations. Means it provides the connectivity between the 2 stations. This layer is the hardware, equipment, cabling, wiring, and the signaling. Means this layer include your cabling and your wiring of your system. Physical layer provides the services to the data link layer. Second layer is the data link layer. Then physical layer's main work is to provide the service to to your data link layer, and data link hands over the frame to the physical layer. Physical layer convert the electronical pulse which represented in the binary data. The main task of the physical layer is there, it converts the electrical pulse which is your binary data. The binary data is then sent over the wire of the wireless network, which data is converted into the electronical pulse. Then that data is going to be sent with the help of your wired or your wireless medium. Next, now we are going to talk about some signals, which is a part of your physical layer. Signal is commonly divided into the two parts: digital signals and your analog signal. Both the types of signals are dealing to send and receive the data. One by one we are going to discuss about that. When the data is sent by the physical medium, we need to first convert it to the electromagnetic signals. When we are going to send our data to another place, then first of all, should be converted into the electromagnetic signal. That electromagnetic signal is actual a binary data. Clear? And then that signal is going to divide it into the two categories. First is your digital signal. Digital signal is a discrete nature and representing the sequence of voltage pulse. Digital signal is in the discrete nature, means you can count that signal in a 0 and 1. Digital signal are used within the circuitry of computer system. These signals are used to circuitry in the computer system. This is a diagram of one digital signal in which signal is represented into the low and the high signal, which is in the 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Second type of the signal, which is an analog signal. Digital signal is a 0 and 1 form, but the analog signal is in the wave form. Here, analog signal is a continuous waveform in which the nature to represent it a continuous electromagnetic waves. Means analog signal is always represented in your waves form. Means the signal is divided into the two categories. First category is your digital signal, which is your 0 and 1, and second category is your analog signal, which is mainly in the waveform. Here, that signal is used to transmit the data from the one place to the another place. Now, come over the transmission media. Now we are going to convert the data into the signals. Next, we are going to talk about the transmission media, in which, with the help of the transmission media, data is sent one place to the another place. Transmission media is divided into the basically two categories: guided media and the unguided media. Guided media means that you are using the wires, cables, but in the unguided media you are using the wireless communication. Here, and the media over which the information between the two computers to be sent is called as the transmission media. Media means with the help of we are sending the data, and media is divided into the two categories: guided and your unguided media. If we talk about your guided media, all the communication with the help of the wires, including the guided media, in such as the UTP, unshielded twisted pair cable. UTP means unshielded twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, fiber optical cable, which are included in the guided media. Means the communication exists with the help of your cables. In this media, the sender and receiver directly connect and information sent directly through it. Means sender and receiver both are directly connected to each other. Now the next medium is concerned that the unguided media. Unguided media is your wireless media here, or the open airspace method, which is unguided. With the help of the air, we are communicate to each other and send the data to each other. Now This is all about your first layer, which is your physical layer. Now we are going to discuss about your second layer, which is your data link layer. Data link layer is the second layer of our SI model. First layer is a physical layer. Second layer is your data link layer. Data link layer is the second layer of our SI model. Data link layer hides the detail underlaying of the hardware and it represents itself to the upper layer at the medium of the communication. Means it is basically used to hide the complexity of the hardware. Here, data link layer works between the two hosts which are directly connected to the some sense. Means it works between the two hosts which are connected to each other. The direct connection could be a point-to-point or a broadcast message. Means the connection is always divided into the two categories. Point to point means there is a one sender and one receiver. Communication between one sender and one receiver is your point to point communication. But broadcast means that there is a one sender and the receiver is a 1 to n. Means there may be possible there is a n number of a receiver. This is a broadcasting method. Then the mainly data link layer is working upon the two type of the connection, point to point and your broadcast method. Now the data link layer is responsible for converting the data stream signals bit by bit and set over the hardware. Means it convert the data into the bits. At receiving end, data link layer pick up the data hardware which are the form of the electromagnetic signal, assemble them to recognizable frame format and so on the upper layers. Means it converts the data into the frames and it's a hard hand over the data to the upper layers. Data link layers has the two sublayers. Means it's working on the two sublayers. First is the logical link control and your media access control. If you are going to discuss about the functionality of your data link layer, then mainly its functionality come under the four categories. Framing, it converts the data into the frames. Addressing, it provides the address, means some logical address provided. Error control and your flow control, means control the error between the data, and flow control means how much data to be a send or a receive. Then all these type of this is the main functionality of your data link layer. Our third layer is your network layer. It's a very important layer. Network layer is a SI model called the network layer. Network layer is manage the optional partition of the host network addressing, managing sub networks, interworkings. Means it manages the mainly three things: addressing and your sub networks and your internetworking. Means it's work on the three categories. Network layers take the responsibility of routing packets source to the destination within the outside the subset. Means it's mainly used for the routing purposes. Means how many hosts are to be connected with the one router. This is all decided by your routing. Network layer is responsible to route the packets from one source to destination. Means it is working on your packets. Packet is sent one source to your destination. If you talk about the functionality of your network layer, addressing the device and the network, mainly it's provide the address, queuing incoming and the outgoing the data. Means it's create a one queue for your incoming and your outgoing the data, and then forwarding according to the quality of service constraints set these packets. Clear? Means is create a one queue of your data. Next is your interworking of between the two different subnet, delivering the packet to destination of the best effort. This is the main functionality of your network layer, how your packet should reach on your destination. Clear? It provided two type of the mechanism between the connection. One type of the connection is your connection oriented is second is your connection less mechanism. This is all about your network layer. Now come to the next layer, which is known as your transport layer. Clear? First three layers is very important: physical layer, data link layer, and the network layer. These are the first three layers. Now we are going to transport layer. If you talk about the transport layer, it is a fourth layer of your OSI model. As other layers, this layer is communicate with the peer transport layer with the remote host. Clear? And transport layer offers to the peer-to-peer and your end-to-end connection. It is responsible for your peer-to-peer and your end-to-end connection between the two processes on the host. Transport layer takes the data from the upper layer, means application layer, and then break into the smaller size of the segments. In the VPX said that transport layer is mainly work on your segments. Network layer is work on your packets. Data link layer is work on your frames. Now the transport layer is work on your segments. If you talk about the functionality of your this layer is the first one which breaks the information data supplied by the application layer in the signal units called as a segments. As we discussed earlier in the slide, it's mainly convert the data into the segments. This layer ensures that the data must be received in the same sequence in which it was sent. Means it ensures that the data should be sent in the same sequence in which it was sent. It consider and check the which sequence to be a data sent. This layer provides the end-to-end delivery of the data between the host, which may or may not belongs to your same subnet. This is the functionality of your layer. Next layer is going to about your session layer. Now discuss about the session layer. Session layer is the fifth layer of the OSI model. This layer allows the user on the different machines to establish the active communication session between them. It provides the one active mainly communication session between the sender and your receiver. It is responsible for establishing and maintaining, synchronizing, terminating the session between the end user application. Its main task is maintaining and synchronizing. Means it's maintain and synchronize the between the sender and receiver. How the data is sent, how much data is to send. This is called as the synchronization. Next, when you terminate the session, means when we are going to end the session. This is the second responsibility of your session layer. Session layer is a stream of the data are received and further mark which the desynchronized properly, means how they are going to get synchronized. The data means the synchronization and the termination is the main responsibility of your session layer. Now talk about the functionality of your session layer. It allows the dialog control, it allows the system to communicate to the half duplex mode and your full duplex mode. Half duplex mode means that either the sender can send the data or receiver can send the data. Receiver can receive the data. Mainly means that only the one-way communication is possible in the half duplex mode, but in the full duplex mode, both type of the sender and receiver both can send and receive the data. Means the communication between the sender and receiver is a two-way communication. Half duplex mode is a one-way communication method, and the full duplex mode is your two-way communication method. It is responsible for the token management. Through this, it is prevent the two users simultaneously attempt to do some critical operation. It is using the token management function. Means simultaneously User can perform some critical operation. That's why it's using the token based method. It's synchronizing the communication. It adds the synchronization points or the checkpoints in the data stream for the long communication. Means it using the some checkpoints. With the help of the checkpoints, the long distance communication to be possible. Clear? This ensures the data stream up to the checkpoints are successfully received and acknowledgement. With the help of these checkpoints, we can they provide the acknowledgement. With the help of the acknowledgement, it's provide the surety that the data is received by your receiver. Clear? Now, the next layer we are going to talk about your presentation layer. It is the second last layer, sixth layer of your OSI model. Presentation layer is the sixth layer of the open system interconnection model. This layer is known as the translation layer. It is a very important thing. It is known as your translation layer. Please remember this name. But next we are going to talk about your presentation layer. It's the sixth layer of your OSI model. Presentation layer is also known as your translation layer. Please remember that word translation layer. Why it is known as your translation layer? Because it provides the encryption and the decryption in the data. This layer is known as your translation layer as the layer services data translator or the network. The data which this layer receives from the application layer, extracted the manipulated layer part of the required format to the transmit over the network. Means it receives the data from your application layer, then it extract and manipulate the data, then it send to the network. This is main responsibility of this layer is to define the data format and the encryption. Means it provide the how the data, what is the data format, means in which form data is going to be sent, and encryption means for the security purpose it provides your encryption. This is the main responsibility of your presentation layer. This presentation layer is also called as the syntax layer. It is responsible for maintaining the proper syntax of the data which either receives or transmits to the other layers. Means its main responsibility is to convert the data into the one proper syntax in which that data is going to send over your network. Now we are going to talk about the functions or the functionality of your this layer. It encoded the message from the user depend format of the common format vice versa for communication among the dissimilar system. Means it converts the data into some specific format. It is responsible for the data encryption and decryption of the sensitive data before they are transmitted over the common channels. Made for the security purpose, this layer is a very important thing. As this layer is responsibility for the encryption and the decryption, means it provides the security over your network. It is responsible for the data compression. It compresses the data. Data compression is done at the source to reduce the number of bits to be transmitted. Means it compresses the data so that the bits to be going to be reduced, then it going to be easily sent over the network. It receives the storage space, increase the files and transmitting rate. Here, now the last layer, which is our topmost layer, which is known as your application layer. Application layer is the topmost layer of the OSI model. This layer exists of both the layer model because its significance of the interacting with the users and the user application. Means it is used to this layer is mainly attracting with the directly to the user. This layer is the application which involve the communication system. Clear? The user may or may not directly interact with the application. It may be possible that the user can directly interact with your application or may not be. Here, This is the functions of your application layer. Identifying the communication partners means there should be identification of communication partner. Layer identify the availability of the communication partners and the application with the data transmission. Determining the resource availability, determining the which resource are need, which are going to be which are used for the communication. Means determining the resource availability, how much resources are needed to communicate with the sender and the receiver. The application layer determines whether sufficient network resources are available for the requested communication. Synchronizing the communication, all the communication occur between the application require the cooperation with them managed by the application layer. Means there is a three function. First of all, identifying the communication partner, determining the resource availability, how many resources you have to communicate, create a communication between the sender and receiver. Third is the synchronization communication, means how to provide the synchronization between the sender and the receiver. Clear? This is all about your OSI model. OSI model is created to its main purpose to create different types of the networks, different types of the software can communicate to the each other. It provides one common platform in which all the networks can be communicate to the each other. Thanks. This is all about your OSI model. Thank you so much.